But at the end of the day, it is like I said, put the fight on.
Hey, Wack, hey, yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So we all know that Gervonta Tank Davis overcame his outside the ring things that kind of kept him out of his rematch that was scheduled with Lamont Roach. Glad he was able to get past that and get back to boxing. But when he came back to boxing, he didn't announce the rematch with Lamont Roach at a later date or a different venue or anything like that. He announced that he's going to be fighting Jake Paul, the influencer, YouTuber. Shout out to Jake Paul because, you know, a lot of people like to talk shit about Jake Paul, you know, because he coming in the game, you know, taking some of the shine off of the actual like hardcore boxing. That's what the fans felt like. And, you know, he's a YouTuber, novice, just jumping in the game, and now he getting all these high profile events, you know, being shown on different platforms and things like that. But the whole time, really, Jake Paul was doing a solid to the sport of boxing, particularly the women's division. Putting Amanda Serrano in the lights, putting Katie Taylor in the lights, put Clarissa Shields in the lights, shining a light on Alicia Baumgartner, several different women fighters. And not to mention when he first, you know, that show he did in Cleveland where he put Montana Love on. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jake Paul done put a lot of motherfuckers on, bro. Even guys that he done gave jobs just to help to be with part of his team within his camps, training them, like Jalen Love. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jake Paul done put a lot of motherfuckers on, so I don't have no problem. I actually fuck with Jake Paul. Like, the shit that he do for the sport of boxing, I don't got no problem with him. But a lot of boxing fans felt some type of way. But I get where they was coming from. But I also get where Jake Paul was coming from, because at the time, it's so much bullshit going on in boxing. All Jake Paul did was come in and exploit the same shit that the mainstay traditional promoters and the big wigs in the sport of boxing was already doing in the first place. It would the reason Jake Paul is able to come in here and do the shit that he do is because of the sport of boxing. There is no structure. It's motherfuckers can come in here and do whatever they want to do, and Jake Paul just proved that. So all he doing is taking advantage of what's in front of him, and you can't blame him for that. But say all that to say this, leading up to this point now, Gervonta Tank Davis is gonna fight Jake Paul. They was gonna do the fight in Atlanta. They just recently announced that it's gonna be in Miami, Florida instead. And you see the title of this video, we have to evaluate Gervonta Davis and his career differently. What I mean by that is it's the good and the bad. On the good part of it, right, for Gervonta Tank Davis, as far as like criticism and evaluation and things like that, we can say that, well, he don't have to be like Terrence Crawford and go for undisputed. That's just, he don't care about belts, right? This is the amount of accountability that we are essentially drawing from him. You know what I'm saying? That we are taking off of his plate, right? We're taking accountability off his plate in this sense. So you Gervonta Tank Davis, you said you only fight, you're a prize fighter, you only fight for money, you don't care about belts, you don't care about legacy. These are things that Gervonta Tank Davis said he don't care about these things. So in that sense, I guess this is a good thing for him, alleviating that amount of accountability that we put on other elite fighters and guys that are actually competing and wanting to prove that they're the best. So we'll say a guy like Tank Davis, look, we're not expecting you to fight Shakur Stevenson, or we're not expecting you to fight Lomachenko when you had the chance to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez. We're not expecting you to fight these dudes. We're not expecting you to move up in weight and challenge yourself and just to see if you can do it. You know what I'm saying? And fight a guy where you don't have all of the advantages from the weight, from the, rehydration clauses, from the type of gloves you gonna wear and different shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we not expecting Tank Davis to make to embark on these types of journeys and subject himself to these type of challenges, right? On the other end, we also have, when I say we have to evaluate his career differently, we also can't give you the same type of credit, even though me personally, I think Gervonta Tank Davis is one of the most skilled fighters, one of the most talented fighters in the sport of boxing. He has literally everything. He has hand speed, power, he has ring IQ, he has footwork, he has boxing ability, he has counter ability, extremely athletic. He can do everything in the ring, right? And even though I think that he's this great specimen of a fighter, I can't give him the same type of credit for these wins. I can't give him the same type of credit that I would give, like, if he vying for a pound for pound spot, or if Tank Davis fans, because I don't think Tank Davis is vying for that. Like, he's making it clear that he don't care about none of the shit that matters in any competitive sport, right? Outside of just winning, you know what I'm saying? He don't care about challenging himself and trying to prove that he better than somebody, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna hold him to the same standards, and I'm not gonna give him the same credit as the other pound for pound guys like Terrence Crawford, like Canelo, like Shakur Stevenson, like Devin Haney, you know what I'm saying? Like Naoya Inoue, Dimitri Bivol, Artur Beterbiev, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't give him the same credit as these guys, because these guys are challenging themselves. These guys are subjecting themselves to challenges where you have to actually, like, it. I don't know if I'm gonna win this fight. You know what I'm saying? Or the fans and the analysts might look at the fight from the outside looking in like, damn, that's a tough fight. I don't know if he gonna win that. Like Devin Haney going up to fight Brian Norman. Like, come on, bro, that shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's a wild ass, like, for you to challenge yourself. The same shit when Terrence Crawford said he gonna go up to fight Canelo, motherfuckers like, hold on, what you mean? You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. We can't, Shakur Stevenson running down trying to fight Teofimo Lopez, or trying to get this fighter in the ring, that fighter in the ring. Like, we have to evaluate Gervonta Tank Davis differently. So the same way we not gonna hold him accountable for the way he moving and him not going after legacy and championships and things, we also can't give him the same credit as these other guys. We can't put him in pound for pound conversations, because you fighting Jake Paul in the prime of your career. He's not the first fighter to fight a character outside of the core of the sport. You know what I'm saying? A wrestler, a rapper, some other type of entertainer. You know what I'm saying? He's not the first guy to do that in the prime of his career or while he's still active. So, but at the same time, it's like, I'm looking at this, and I'm also looking at the preceding behaviors and how he's been moving, the things that he said, and the direction that he's been going in. And then you fight Jake Paul when you could have either came back and gave us the rematch with Lamont Roach, where you just had your first draw, the first guy that you fight where you didn't win, or we expected you to fight a Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody, if you was going to go up to 140, we expect you to fight Teofimo Lopez or Richardson Hitchens, like somebody that you can challenge yourself with. But you come back and you give us Jake Paul. So I ain't mad at you for getting your bread, do that. But I'm just saying, for the purposes of boxing conversations with other fans and, debates, podcasts, people having discussions about boxing, talking about, well, this fighter better than that fighter, and this fighter is more elite, and this fighter is pound for pound ahead of this fighter. Tank Davis just simply should not be in them conversations. We not gonna hold him accountable for him not wanting to be a legacy fighter, but we also not gonna turn around and give him the same credit that we giving Terrence Crawford or anybody else that's actually challenging himself to be great. You feel what I'm saying? So, as far as this fight goes, to be honest with you, I think Tank can stop Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? I know he fighting a 6 foot, 200-pound dude. But look, bruh, Tank Davis is, you know, his ability, him being 5'5", and, you know, having all of the things that he's equipped with, everything considered, I think he can go in there and hit Jake Paul with one of them shots to the body, or it might take a few of them to get him down, but I think he can stop Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? The worst thing that can happen is if he get clipped with one of them right hands from Jake Paul. That's just all bad. At that point, don't even come back to real boxing. Just, if I'm Tank Davis and you fuck around and get clipped by Jake Paul, man, just stay doing exhibitions, bro. At that point, you feel me? But I actually expect Tank Davis to stop Jake Paul. What does that tell us? What does that mean for hardcore boxing fans? Absolutely nothing. But I'm just telling you what I think is going to happen when that fight takes place. But like I said, man, we have to evaluate Gervonta Tank Davis differently. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. How do you feel about Tank Davis coming back and not fighting Lamont Roach or Shakur Stevenson or anybody else that we actually wanted to see him fight, and fighting Jake Paul instead? And how you feel about having to evaluate what he does in the sport differently. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Contender Regime Boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.